Okay. Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Williamson County Board of Commissioners meeting. It's Monday, September 25th, 2023. It's 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Roll call, please.
Tim Atkinson.
Present.
Jim Marlowe.
Present.
Jim Razor.
Present.
All right, at the top of our agenda today, old business, is the holiday schedule. We tabled this from the last meeting. Stephanie, did you have to give me a copy of that?
Yeah, it's sitting right, it should be sitting right there. Here, you have this.
Okay. Commissioner Marlowe took that one, I'm afraid. Holiday schedule. All right, you guys have time to think about this?
Well, how do we handle certain holidays such as Christmas Eve and things like that? Office, so I don't know. To determine that. So, I don't know.
Christmas Eve is really a question about.
We always looked it up to the household.
The last several years you have voted this.
This is a,
Has it been on this then? Well, then it's on there, okay, then that's not an issue.
I think we need some consistency here more than anything, whether we like it or not, because if we leave it up to the individual offices, one office decides to close and all the others are open, and someone shows up and they see all the other offices open and that closed. I just don't think we're serving the taxpayer there. I think this is a very large number of holidays.
it's huge.
And my personal on that, but if this is the one that's going to be used even by the majority, I think we just need to make it the standard. And I think going forward, it's probably on us to think about cleaning up the language we've got in various contracts. To where we at least get a consistency and we don't have to post it, well, this office is open, this one's closed, this all closed.
Well, I agree. I think it's very, so, the way I'm thinking on this, we've done this before in the past, so we'll just go ahead with it. And the issue is in the contracts. And next one, we'll clean it up.
Yeah, if you just vote on it, get a resolution number.
Yeah, you do have one?
Yeah.
Okay. Motion to approve resolution number 23-09-25-92, be the holidays for next year, 2024.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Tim Atkinson.
Yeah.
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Jim Razor.
Yeah.
Animal control fees increase. Jim, I think you were working on this.
Kevin and I were discussing this, and we brought this up a couple times at the board meeting. And we brought it up at the last board meeting, to discuss this. We did decide that, it's justified that there would be an increase somewhat. Not quite sure what the increase should be. If we want to make it a small increase, I think it's very plausible that we do that since what year was it?
2007.
2007 was the last time we ever had an increase.
It was increased by 10 cents.
And we need to get this approved so that he can send the letters out because cities with their council meetings are meeting very shortly with their budget. So.
Didn't we decide, or did we discuss the fact that their fiscal years are, is it May? June 1st to May 1st?
Fiscal
It's
year.
the
Most
individual,
cities.
I have no idea, to be honest with you, but
Okay,
the contracts that the county sends out are December 1
they are December,
to November.
Municipalities are May 1 through April 30.
okay.
So at the time, where we're at, $2.10.
Yes, right.
That was a 10-cent increase. I don't know. It's a 50-cent increase, plausible, or $3. Is that too much?
Can we do more than 1 year?
Oh, you can do it every day.
No, I mean, the contract be more than a 1-year contract.
That'd be up to the board to decide, and then as long as the cities were probably okay with it.
I just think
See why it's not.
it helps them budget. For us, you know, if we're gonna raise it, we're just gonna raise it. But if we can let them know that over the next 3 years, you're gonna see this, this, and this, it seems to me that's easier for them to budget. Because I don't have an issue, I think 310 was the number we had talked on the top side. I don't have an issue getting there, I just wouldn't want to throw all that in at one time. But again, I think it's easier when they know what's coming.
So you want to divide those up in threes?
I didn't do it exactly a split, but, and I'm not locked into anything here, but I'm a 245, 285, 315 for a 3-year contract. It's a bigger increase from year 1 to year 2, and a smaller increase from 2 to 3.
Really, as long as they get that ahead of time.
Yeah.
Council, did I miss anything?
No, I mean,
So are
you
you-
guys do.
Are you suggesting that the county does 3-year contracts with the towns, but in each year that contract, there's a fee increase?
Correct, there'll be an escalator clause in there that shows this is the fee for this year, next year, and the following.
So we'll have to come up with a way to build in for that next contract fee.
Just put it in there
Too.
to where the annual fee will be, for the, you know, the fee will be X. And then for 2024, it'll be Y, and
Okay.
2025, it'll be Z.
I think that's a good idea. I think that's a fair way to do it. I know we have really increased costs since 2007.
Yeah.
So I think that's a fair point. That, in my mind, that is not unreasonable request. Okay. Did you have a motion, Jim, you'd like to make?
Do we have any kind of a resolution or anything on this? Or we're just approving move to increase the animal control fees?
Do you guys normally have a fee resolution for animal control? Anybody know?
I haven't had to raise them. I mean, every part of it.
How were they, how did you know what they were?
I bet there is.
Go back and look, yeah, I mean, I don't know, I don't have a resolution number, but it had to be approved somewhere along the lines, but that's where I worked here.
The only approval that I know that we've done is approve the contracts with the various municipalities.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it's based on their population.
We could do that.
Yeah.
Have the contracts issued, and then that way, if a municipality says, hey, I can't commit to a 3-year, but I'll commit to a 1-year.
Yeah.
The board could sign off on a 1-year as well. I mean, I could,
Okay.
you may have somebody that says, I don't want to do a 3-year, I'll do a 1. We're looking at doing our own, for instance.
So what do we need to approve?
You could do a motion to approve to increase the rates as stated and authorize Kevin to generate contracts for the various localities. This would be fine. We've got it in this.
We'll move to establish animal control fees for year 1 of a 3-year contract, $2.45, year 2 at $2.85, year 3 at $3.15.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Tim Atkinson.
Yeah.
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Jim Reaver.
Any other old business?
You want to discuss the countywide cleanup day?
Yeah, I think we have to, we have a. It's not going on.
According to the ad, it didn't require to be sealed. Am I correct on that, Stephanie?
Okay.
Okay. So we have 2.
Yeah, they're 10 times both of them.
They're right here.
All right. So one was sent to me via email, one was turned in.
Okay, and these have matched requirements of request for proposal?
If you look at the timestamp on the one on my email, it does say 4:02. I think there was a reason for that. That Friday I was contacted by, I don't know her last name, first name was Sheila, from the EPA. She seemed to kind of be lost on the whole thing of what we were doing. And I told her that I had spoken with her supervisor and explained everything that was going on. I said I was still waiting for the letter to come back from Mr. Hubbard, I believe was his name. And at that time, I had not received the letter from Mr. Hubbard. Time I got to the office, I did receive the letter from Mr. Hubbard, and basically said that he's been in contact with Garrison, and there's no modification necessary for transfer stations. The issue with Sheila was that transfer stations aren't open on Saturdays, is the way she explained it to me. Mr. Hubbard reviewed everything. He knew that everything was going to be held on Saturday. We have his letter of okay. We got it from Garrison, his subordinate. I would have thought that if there's any issue, that the transfer stations would have contacted me. They didn't. That wasn't any of their concern. I was made aware of. I believe Sheila had spoke with one of the transfer stations, hence the delay in why they sent it. They sent the bid. But that's out of my opinion. So I don't know, it's whatever the board wants to do on this, I guess. I know.
I think technically you've got one compliance.
Okay.
I hate to say that, but
Yeah,
2 minutes is 2 minutes, otherwise I would have
I
said.
want you to look at this, though. Did you get that opinion? Okay, this was received on that date. I can't find the time.
Sorry, I don't have my built-in calendar. So
I can't find the time on that.
your office closes at 4
Yes.
and it's stamped as filed prior to,
Okay.
so you didn't work past 4 on Friday. So
No,
it was received.
Okay, just wanted that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, but I think
okay, then. So technically then what we're saying then is we have one bid that we technically came in according to the way the ad read and the way we specified what we specified. The time and everything, it's unfortunate.
no, it is, but at the same time, if somebody submitted it on time, it was the only bid, and it gets awarded to somebody that didn't follow the rules, then why have the rules?
That's it, exactly. Right.
That is my whole point.
Yep.
So we have to open this.
Okay.
I don't think the sealed element was necessary, but I think 4 o'clock is.
4 o'clock,
4
4
o'clock.
o'clock, yeah. No, I believe, yeah.
And this is from Public Services. Dated September 22nd, 2023, Dear Williamson County Board, please find below here in transfer station's proposal for countywide cleanup for Williamson County residents, October 21st, 2023, 8 a.m. to 12 a.m. All pricing is per ton. Municipal solid waste, MSW, is $46.05 per ton. Recycle and plastics is $165 per ton. Metal, car batteries, and white goods are $50 per ton, and tires are $425 per ton. Those are the four items on the proposal. proposal is signed. It is dated. And they have 3 references. City of Carterville, the City of Johnson City, and the City of Dayton.
At this point,
We'll take this under advisement.
and then I think what we need to do, at this point is, call them in the meeting to discuss this further with them, make sure you get all the fine details and everything. See if there's anything hidden that we don't know about, not aware of. And before we place the ad on having, posted.
Great, let's get them in here in the meeting. The date, as David said, at October 21st now.
Well, that's still up in the air. It's nothing is said. I know that was the way it was in the bid. But if we need to, whatever the may came up, we might need to modify that sometime. So we just need to set up a time for the next meeting.
Okay, the next meeting we have is Friday at 10 a.m. That the purpose of that board meeting is to start budgeting. We could set them in at 10 and then come back for budgeting in the afternoon. Yes. Okay for you, Jim, is that okay for you?
That's fine with me.
I'll have to run past the audit. Make sure that they're available. At 1 o'clock. So tentatively, let's see if we can get them in here at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
And on Friday. Okay. Any other old business? Jim, do you have any? Okay. One time, Jim, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, we talked about the county website. And,
Right.
and bringing it up to ADA.
Right.
And I don't know if there's any news on that.
I'm in a webinar tomorrow, the new standards. That standard is changing, so I will have more for the board.
Perfect, excellent. Another thing on old business, we've been contacted from the grant manager for the DCEO grant for the grant position. And Jim is going to send.
Register for
Okay, all right, Jim has got control of the webinars. And then probably the Friday meeting, we'll talk about that. Let's see. Other old business is the job opening for internal auditing. And Brett, did you send that to all 3 of us?
I did.
Okay, did you guys receive that email that has the job description? Okay. Like to, since we're gonna have a regular meeting at 10 o'clock on Friday, I'd like to put that on the agenda. If you guys have got any changes or anything like that, could you reach out to Brett and send those to him? Any other old business that you get? Okay. Moving on, new business, cybersecurity. I think that was in there.
Yeah, a little bit going on here. As I've been looking into this, it would seem from us, that includes Illinois, EMA, and FEMA, all the way to the federal. Cybersecurity is being pushed to those organizations and their tie to Homeland Security. There's a push above us that our director has made me aware of, that even now in Illinois, they are pushing our EMAs to be leaning more and more towards Homeland Security. So there's a tie there. One of the things we were tasked with doing by the state during this year was appointing a point of contact for cybersecurity. Does not need to be a cybersecurity expert, just a point of contact to facilitate communication from the state or the federal to whoever we would need here. And the more I've processed this and talked to our director, it's my recommendation that we make our director of emergency management our contact cybersecurity. one of the other things that go along with this, and one reason we need to get this person appointed, whoever it's going to be, is we're also required to have every employee on campus do cybersecurity training before the end of the year. So we kind of need to get somebody in place so that they can work on getting the training.
I have a question. Why would we not have mayor do our contact on cybersecurity?
I think they need to be more directly employed by the county. They're going to be the go-between. I would hate to see a communication from the state or the federal government to mayor and we be left out. I think as long as we're using our EMA director, we're going to be in that communication.
I guess they could always be.
I think that's going to be the first call the director is going to make. If anything that comes from above, he's going to be in contact with them. But we just have a more direct connection with campus. And then if we would ever change vendors, we still have our same point of contact. Sure.
I agree with that. Is that an item that we should vote on?
I think your EMA director has other duties as assigned, and I think you can just assign it.
Sign them to duty.
Unless legislatively it requires that you have somebody named. I've not seen that one.
I've not seen that at that point. I just saw that we were tasked with.
Could you research that?
Yep.
And then, Stephanie, would you please put that on the agenda for Friday? Anything else on cybersecurity?
That's it.
Any changes day by day?
Yeah, we need a point of contact that we need to get everybody trained.
Absolutely. All right, next thing on the agenda is the sheriff's Can-Am. We can approve the purchase of this. The sheriff was, when his budget was reopened back in January, was given money from the capital improvement accounts. And at the time, we were talking about SWATs. I think since that time, he's found a need for these ATVs. And I think he's had quite a bit of success using vehicles like this. So he's asked us to approve the purchase of these out of the capital improvement account.
I'll make that motion. We approve that purchase. 4-wheelers on the capital improvement account.
Roll call, please.
Tim Anderson.
Yeah.
Jim Marlowe. Jim Razor.
Yeah.
Surplus property. And this goes to the EMA's property out at the refuge area in the bunkers. Jim, you've been out there a couple of times. Can you give us a little rundown on this, please?
So again, and I think we have a document packet identifying the bunkers and to some extent what's in there of no usefulness today, some value. I think the city management team may try and recoup some funds from collectors, but that's all that's in there. I do see that they went in and cordoned off what is the sheriff's department's property in there. And that, again, why it seemed important to me that we let the sheriff deal with that. This is blasting caps, tear gas, OC gas. There were lots of explosive signs on these boxes. And I think his office is probably much better equipped. It has the contacts to take care of that. So that has been excluded from what we're talking about, naming surplus property. The reason for a little bit of expedience on this is because the refuge is changing the rules. This has been, you can store your stuff here, starting here very soon. We're going to start charging a lease on this. And when I saw what was in there, I don't see it or the county spending any money to keep it in there. Anything that is of value, I still think we'll end up leasing the, what they call the warehouse, at least another year, so we can work on what's in that. If there's anything that we come across that they think they can use, it can be moved out there and stored. But most of this is, we just need to clean
And I think Brian is eager for reading this stuff.
it.
We have a resolution for surplus property. And Brett, you read through all this.
Yep.
And as far as the property that's inside the bunkers, it's all over 20 years old, has no financial value to the county. We're good to surplus it like he has offered to let collectors purchase whatever might be valuable to them.
I believe the resolution for the majority of the items, the Airstream trailer is the one that potentially does have value, but I think it's my understanding he was going to potentially put that on an auction site for bid, so. Didn't want to do the global of none of it has value because there is
There are things that.
potentially that has, I don't know exactly how much. I'm not saying any conditions.
And for clarity, that Airstream is not in a bunker, it's in a warehouse. Sorry.
Some of the materials that we were saying have no value, are they in the warehouse or are they on the bunkers?
Bunkers.
On the bunkers.
They're definitely items of value.
And those we will deal with as the needed lines.
As quickly as we can get there, it's not like we need to pay several more years of lease
Right.
for that, but there's just some commingling out there that it's going to take a while to stay out. Sure.
Okay, so this resolution, it gives Brian, again, the authority to go ahead and take care of the bunkers, the stuff that's in the bunkers, we'll get that stuff down.
This declares it surplus property, subject to.
So with that being said, I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number 23-09-25-91 surplus property in Riverside County.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Kim Anderson.
Yeah.
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Jim Ritter.
Yeah.
Public comment. You, what could you come up and stand on the X and, sorry about that.
It's not really that formal, but
Yeah. And then you could give us your name and you can,
My name is Scott Robinson. I live on Cardinal Road and Coyote Lane is right next to my house. And this guy's moved in the back probably 3 months, 4 months maybe. And he's got everybody in turmoil. I guess there's been a sign put up on the south side saying Coyote Road goes all the way through. The refuge says it does not. He's filed OPs against the neighbor. That we just went to court on that Friday. The judge has squashed all that because the problem guy has now filed a lawsuit against every property owner and the wildlife refuge also. He's wanting to take the Coyote Road over. Well, it belongs to refuge. My survey pins are Crawford's come out and they've got them. My pins are gonna move over. One of them like 5 foot, the other one's 10 foot from the original spot. I guess years ago Crawford made a mistake. Sheldon from Wallach Refuge, he's the engineer, the surveyor. So he's doing all this. So they found some points last week. He's trying to get it rectified. I just wanted to know kind of what you guys' thoughts were. I mean, the sign was put up and the sign hasn't been there for years. And I don't know if it got bush hogged or whatever, but this guy is causing nothing but problems with the whole neighborhood. And we're trying to get him to stop using the road because it's actually not his road. It actually belongs to Wildlife Refuge, and they're in the process of that. they said, well, we can, once we get all this done, we're going to probably eliminate the road totally, like they did the Carterville Beach Road. So, but I just wanted to get your, kind of your thoughts on it and see what you guys thought about it, because it's really an issue. The cops have been out there multiple times. I mean, I guess the sheriff's now angry about having to come out because of all the bickering back and forth. But it's basically the two neighbors and the new guys wanting to just take everybody's property. So,
So whose sign is it that's out there?
Okay, so just calling for memory, it's been a while since I wrote that sign. Best of my recollection, the sign was put up years ago. It disappeared. After individuals talking about moved in, and called the county, saying, hey, this sign's gone. So a lot of times when a 911 sign is missing, we will replace it. And so we put it back in. And not, because a lot, we put up 911 signs on private entranceways. If the property owner calls and requests it, they put it in. And then technically, if it gets taken down or not, we don't have to replace it. We've kind of been doing that just because we don't want somebody calling 911, leaving the ambulance and not having it. So we went through it. That's something that happens automatically in my office. I don't get notified of every one of those. Robin takes care of that. So and so my position on that was, that I was going to take it down, but that was after somebody made a ruling that this is not a problem. Because what we don't want to do is an ambulance show up there and work this road, not whatever it is, and somebody have a health issue because they couldn't find something to. So I'm waiting on guidance from the council before we take that.
Like you said, us putting the sign up does not mean that's absolutely a county road, because you do put it on private.
We put them up on, anytime a property owner calls and requests a sign, I believe it's not sign policy.
You guys have any thoughts on this?
this gentleman is saying he does not have, he's landlocked, so that's his only way in. I got a map that specifically shows his partial property, and it specifies his easement going to Cypress Drive, not coming Coyote. So he, and the judge, actually Judge Green Friday told him that that is an incorrect statement because I've read the documents and you have another way out. So
Refuge giving you kind of time frame.
there's, like I said, they're finding everybody's pins through there. I mean, I guess mine were the most recent, I don't know, but they know where mine are and they're going on down. So, but if you look at mine, the rest of the road is all theirs. Plus, of course, it starts in Beanfields. So when I moved in there, it's probably been 15 or more years ago. That was a service road for the refuge only. And now this guy says it's his personal driveway.
Yeah.
And he's trying to stake claim to it. So
Scott, I'm just not exactly sure what this board can tell you. And it's definitely not county property.
Mhm.
And I don't know, unless these guys have an opinion they'd like to voice about.
well, this is what I see it as far as the sign. We were talking about the sign when it went up, and should it have went up because it's not a through road. It comes off of Cypress in to the house and then goes back out. So that's what I was kind of, I guess, trying to find out.
Yeah, and it sounds like to me that our sign puts those signs up, even on roads that aren't county owned.
Okay.
And maybe even personal driveways. Yes.
Well, so what DJ told me was if an individual has a home on the road, they call it a sign, you know,
Right.
and we put it up. And that's kind of what happened here. Well, individual was taking up. Basically called and said the sign was up. was on and need to be replaced. And they are looked at some point in time in the past, something was put up. And so they replaced it.
And I think that's incredible.
On conversation with the refuge, I know those guys well, I'm working with them, they have no record of it. Their intention, is, as soon as the surveys are produced, to knock it off, take it out, do what it did. At that point, it's inaccessible. And I think that's at the point where either the lawsuit or whatever is settled, or Fish and Wildlife block it off where you can't use it, then that's when we need to, somebody needs to say, hey, let's take it.
Then take the sign down. Yeah.
That's my opinion. Somebody, whether it's court or council, says, hey, it's no longer accessible. You take the sign down. Then they may stop looking for the other correct coyote. Sure they can get through there today, honestly.
Well, and that was going to be my question. So I've had two of these individuals in my office. I've been in the middle of this one for a while. My digging, the Government State's Attorney's Office. This is civil, it's not county, I don't own it, never have. The question becomes the sign, and Travis and I talked about one time, maybe even the culvert that allows the access. I have heard, and I've not checked on this because I was told to stay out of it, but I was heard that there was a gate going up across what was this drive, potentially a fence cutting across it as well. Are you aware of either of those?
Property owner, Mr. Scaff, has hired an attorney. They have sent him the other gentleman paperwork. He claims he didn't get it, and all this other stuff. There was a fence put across there because the attorney says, show me you have rights to this road. He couldn't present any information. He said he wanted to meet with her. She goes, I don't know, need to meet with you. You want to come to my office? And so the whole thing got squashed because he doesn't have any paperwork, I guess. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm guessing. So he doesn't or hasn't produced any rights to the easement. So now he's just making everybody's life hell.
In fact, what I think is our concern, if a fence goes up or a gate goes up, and we continue to leave a sign and a culvert, an ambulance does turn down that road, and they get stopped by a gate, then we have in effect aided them going the wrong direction. I think as soon as that road is inaccessible, all the way through, or they get done, the refuge gets done with their survey, then we need to have a serious discussion about, do we get out, how do we get out, and get the sign and culvert taken care of. I don't think we can do anything until there's some more actions.
Well, and the culvert is not yours. It's not the county's culvert. It's actually a piece of pipe for boring underneath the road. Sleeve is what the casing, that's what I was thinking. That's what it is, because mine's the same way. Because I guess the previous owner of my house that I bought, my driveway, Coyote Road, and I've got a little drive by my barn that comes out. That's all in that casing. So I guess all three of them were kind of put in there. I don't know, but there's never been any rock, and nobody's taken care of that road except for one time, and that was like 15 years ago. And they dropped the rock and it disappeared in the mud and the dirt, and that was it.
The refuge has asked me to install a new culvert with you. Yeah, they're gonna abandon this totally. They've asked us to put a new culvert in at harvest season to the east. And as soon as we do that, they cut their road off, we need that pipe.
So you'll take that pipe out at that point?
Depending on what everybody agrees to, you have to sign the pipe, in my opinion, should come out. So,
I think we're waiting on action from the refuge. Is that fair?
the refuge and then I don't know about this lawsuit. That's something I have to deal with. State's attorney's office. I just wonder, is the state starting to get interference on that? Is that something? Or is that something they would do, or would they be interfered?
No, it's a civil matter at this point. I mean, I'm looking at the property and halfway up, it switches over to a Lunchka. Becomes the owner of potentially Coyote Lane. It loses the,
If you come off of Cypress, Lutchka's got the first barn, which is for his gutter business, come around the curve, and that's this Pratt guy
I see it,
that he bought. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Scaff has that property there.
but Lunchka also owns to the east.
Yes, of Mr. Scaff's property, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Coyote Lane, it goes federal government, and then it gets to a tree line, and then it becomes Lunchka on up to the rest of that property.
Okay.
So federal government doesn't own all the way up to
Right.
that parcel.
Right,
Lunchka does.
Right, because they're stopping it right there at Mr. Scaff's property. They've already found his pin and everything else. And actually, if this all goes, he's gonna put a gate right there.
Okay, so we will wait until we hear about the lawsuit. The feds do.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, sorry for your trouble, sir.
It's something, but I appreciate it.
Sure.
Mr. Chairman, I did find the law that Commissioner Razor was talking about. It indicates that a local government cybersecurity designee is required of each county. It's to be designated by a local official or employee as the primary point of contact for local cybersecurity issues. Goes into effect January 1 of 23, so we'll take action on it, but it would be just an appointment of, and then we have to notify, you have to provide the name and contact information to the department. Or local, of the cybersecurity. So
So that,
I've sent that statute to you guys.
so that does take a board action, or is that an important?
It's an appointment. I think the chairman has the ability to make appointments without.
Without board action?
Yep.
Okay. Good. Okay. Moving on down into miscellaneous, Ashley, you have something for us?
I don't have any ARPA, but I do have something that I would like
Let's
to.
talk about parking lots.
Yes. So I've sent out tax bills this morning. It's been a madhouse. I was running the drive button, watched 4 of the people that pay all of our salaries have to walk all the way around the building to the back of our employee parking lot. Because we have 65 to 70% of these actual visitor parking slots covered with employees that are working primarily over the courthouse. It's labeled that that's a visitor parking lot. This whole entire front area and even the side, I mean, is labeled as a visitors except for the ones that are marked for the office holders. So there should be no reason any employee should be parking in this parking lot when we got a parking lot in the back. We've got a parking lot across the street in the GT building and then a giant parking lot at the First Baptist Church, all within 200 feet or 300 feet max of a door access. So there is no reason why these people should have to be trekking all over the place to come in and do business, either in my office, at the county clerk's office, or in the assessor's office at any time. I mean, right now I'm doing taxes. When she's, having voting, early voting or in-person voting, they shouldn't have to trek all over the place to be able to come in and do that business either, or to come and talk to any of you. So I would request that you all would write a letter or along with me in telling everyone that this is a visitor parking lot, that no employees other than designated spots for office holders and I guess their assistants can be, park here. In order to actually let people access the building in the way that they should be able to access them. I guess if you don't want to, then I'm gonna be the bad guy, and I don't really care, because I'm tired of looking at people not being able to be served in the proper way because we're lazy. I mean, that is the only way to put it.
It's definitely been a problem for the last several years.
Yes. And
Especially
it
when we've
only,
been voting for 40 days here in this building.
and it only gets worse.
Jim, you've heard the request. What's your thoughts?
Letters.
I'm okay with the letter.
Absolutely. Is there any way to add teeth to enforcement on this?
No,
That would require posting.
it would require posting, but you could indicate that. You guys are, I will tell you that having traveled numerous counties, you guys are blessed with the fact that you've got parking. Most of the counties are still in the old squares. Jackson County, the judges take up one side of the courthouse. The other side has 3 handicap spots. The back side's for jail officers only, and the front is the main road. So you're finding places. Franklin County put in their new square, but they had to put in a parking lot across because it's not the most ideal. Perry County's even worse, you know, I mean, so I get what you're saying, of coming up with a solution. But I know for a while, the assessor's office, I think it was a directive of Alex that they had to park over there.
Yeah.
And then it was only because of an employee issue that they moved to come to here. So I don't know if they moved back there or not. But clearly, we've had a practice in the past of offices saying, you must park over here. Best Buy does it, Walmart does it, Dick's does it. They all move their employees away from the door.
Well, 90% of the office is in here, comply with that directive. I mean, all of my employees park in the back. I think almost all of Amanda's employees park in the back, with the exception of I think the 2 people in the assessor's office that have disability issues. One has a bad knee and one actually has a legitimate handicap, sticker. They park in the front, but then everybody else parks in the rear. It is literally everybody in the courthouse. The state attorney's office, public defender's office, probation, all of them. I'm not going to say the circuit clerk because most of them, I think, park on the south side, in that GT building. But all of those, I guess if they're an attorney, I understand they're a visitor. But I mean, anybody who's an assistant state's attorney, an admin assistant, whatever else, should be parking in an employee designated parking lot. And that does not include this front parking.
What I see is, okay, how do you know whose vehicle belongs to who?
Stand at 4 o'clock.
Stand at 4 o'clock, well, actually, stand out there at about 3:50.
Hold on, just a second.
Let's go.
This is a legitimate question. I want to hear an answer to this.
How do you know anyone that comes here, that's an employee vehicle? When I'm a taxpayer, I'm coming in, I want to pay my tax bill, and I see the parking lot is full. I don't know that that's employees' cars. I mean, I understand the problem. I understand what you're saying. You know they're maybe employees' cars. But how do you really know if they're an employee's cars?
I'm saying, here's what I'm saying. Can you answer that question? No, I can't answer that.
Also, like you said, when it's voting time, okay, and the law
Are
is
you asking
full.
if the voters who come in complain that the employees are parked there?
How, do they come?
They come in and complain that I can't find a parking space.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Okay, got it.
So,
Okay. That point right there. What if it was full of people coming in doing county business? And they say, I can't find a place to park. Are you gonna have a taxpayer's card code?
I said visitors, was what I was referring
So
to.
then how do you-
But what I'm saying,
differentiate-
how do you differentiate who's who?
Here's what I'm saying, is I'm saying people should have enough respect for the people that pay
Oh,
our
no, I-
salaries,
I
that
get
they
that.
should park away and in designated employee
I'm just-
parking spaces. I cannot guarantee you, there's no sticker, there's nothing. So the answer is you can't. However, at the same
That's what I'm
time,
getting.
professional and common courtesy should be handled by anybody that is taking advantage of parking there and taking it literally away from everybody who I'm collecting money for that gives us $8+ million and the $1 million+ dollars that they pay in
My
fees.
point is, I guess, is you, people that come in don't know, the parking lot's full, that's all they see. Parking lot's full. They don't know if it's an employee, or they don't know if it's other people doing county business. Parking lot's full. Okay, you're gonna get that, I get it. Now, I'm all for the letter. Don't get me wrong, I agree with you on those points. You know, it should be common courtesy that employees park in employee parking lot only, you know.
Can I ask a follow-up? Is there enough employee parking?
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, go count all the open spots back here, count the open spots in the GT building, and literally the county has the entire First Baptist parking lot from Monday through Friday available.
I'm asking the question because I
so
don't know the answer.
There is an
Here,
abundance of parking available
But I
to
can-
all employees.
I can perceive
and
somebody
their
saying
spouses,
that.
and everybody else who wants to come. So yes, the answer is 100% yes.
Yeah, okay, the board will write a letter out. We'll get it, all
Do you
three
want to address it to
commissioners.
the office holder?
Yeah, address it to office holders. And we'll write it in a way that all three commissioners will sign it. We will send it out
I greatly appreciate it.
without a single guarantee that anybody's going to look at it.
I totally understand.
Observe it.
I just want you to make the effort because I'm tired of it and I'm going to say something to everybody else.
The effort will be
Continuously.
made.
So
It will be made.
that'll keep me from saying, go up and tell the commissioners that you couldn't park somewhere. And now when I tell them that, because there's multiple employees that are taking away these spaces. So,
No, I won't. You'll still say that.
no, I won't. I will not, I will say, go talk to anybody over the courthouse because if they're not gonna comply and have the courtesy to actually adhere to that request, yes, I will 100% say that to go talk to the state attorney.
I agree with you, and I apologize. Right now, I have no problem.
I can,
I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
I totally understand.
you know.
There's no way to
Right now,
guarantee that they are that,
there will not be a total,
that's fine. I know you can't, I know you can't identify that, but I'm just
because
saying,
we cannot identify these cars.
I agree.
And I'm gonna add a layer, and I'm not trying to throw gasoline. Does this letter need to come from the board, from the PDC?
Good question.
Whose parking lot is it?
That's a good question. We've had this discussion, I thought it would be the PBC's.
I mean, I'm willing to sign a letter. I'm not.
No, I know what you're saying, yeah.
Technically, the county is the tenant of all the properties of the PDC. When you become the tenant, you inherit the rights of that property owner. Hence the saying that if I sublease something, the sublease payment should come to the person who is renting the premises, not the owner. Just gonna say it, that's where it's at. You get to be the landlord, or you get to be the property owner. But you give up rights when you become the landlord as opposed to just.
You have my word. I will 100% unequivocally, if you sign that letter, I will tell them that all three commissioners have made a concerted effort to force employees to park elsewhere. If they choose to do otherwise, you can go take it up with their office.
EMA is leading the way right now. We spoke to Ryan at lunch. So there's two spots now.
Okay, thank you.
Actually, you got anything else?
No, I don't have any art respect for them.
Thanks for bringing that to our attention.
No, I am. I'm passionate. I get it.
I'm just saying, I mean, when you see it, you get people literally driving around the buildings because they can't find it. Space. It's pretty disheartening.
It's limited, it is, you know.
All right, let's move on. Down on miscellaneous. Does anybody have anything else for miscellaneous? Nope. Nope.
Motion.
Well, just a second, I'm gonna ask about it. The health insurance, how are we doing? You ready?
Yeah.
Everybody ready?
We deliver numbers to everybody.
All numbers were signed.
Okay, so are we ready to have that on the next agenda then?
Sure.
I think from a time frame standpoint, we need to do it, so that the board is going away from current, we have to get the 60-day notice. So I think keep that in consideration that there's going to be
Here's the time.
a time limit. If you're wanting to incorporate at a certain date, you've got to back that off.
Okay, so On the agenda for Friday? The agenda for Friday still. Does anybody have anything else? Motion to adjourn. Roll call, please.
Tim Matheson.
Yeah.
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Jim Fraser.
Here is the, Jim, who's-